so we're back on the road again. I didn't find my license plate bracket. I looked at everything and realized that it had actually broken where it sits on the swing arm, so the bracket is gone. Probably on one of my trips to San Antonio or something like that. So that's gone. Buy a new bracket and get with DMV. It's Saturday now, so they're closed, but Monday I'll go down, see what I can do about the license plate, get a new one. So we're riding stealth today. I've probably been doing it for 2 months and didn't even know it. I've never been pulled over for it yet, so I'd have been pretty surprised if they pulled me over and said I didn't have a license plate, but yeah. So maybe I'll do a review on the bracket that was being used, except for the fact that I don't know what bracket was. So, oh, here's a good little thing. A little speed trap or a speed thing set up here. My gearing, I don't know what my speeds are, so it shows I'm doing 26. What? That's got to be the other car behind me. It shows I was doing 27. I was showing 22 on my bike, and it should be higher. My bike should be, you know, 30s or so to be doing 20 miles an hour, but we'll get to that later. So again, lovely Fort Polk. I did want to talk a little bit about my setup. I'm using a GoPro Hero 4 Silver. I also got the Movo lapel mic, the MG100, I believe is what it is. And I like the clarity of it. This is the first time using it. I've tested it out a couple times. The first ride that I just did before I turned off the camera, I played back the video, and even though there's a lot of wind noise outside right now, you can't hear any of that. I don't like the fact that it catches me breathing every so often, so I'll have to be conscious of that a little bit, but we'll work on it. But perfect. I got it set up. I've got a Bilt Bluetooth Techno helmet, so I can hook up my Bluetooth to my phone and listen to music while I'm riding along. But the microphone does pick up the music I'm listening to, so we won't be doing any of that today. I'm going to focus just on having the mic and talking to you guys, basically. So I'm going to go out the back side of our post here, and I'm going to go through a little place where I know I can get up some speed and, you know, do some twisty turnies and stuff like that. But so I'll do a video on my setup a little bit later on. I'll show you guys kind of what I'm rocking, but as I said before, I have the RAM mount holding my Galaxy Note S or Galaxy Note 4 on. At first I thought I was going to have some issues with it, so I was very careful when I rode with it, you know, in the mount and whatnot. Didn't really get up to speed too much, and made sure that I kept it down. I didn't know if it was going to hold it very securely or not, and haven't had any issues with it. I actually was on a closed course not too long ago, and you know, it held up as long as the bike would go. So talking 186 miles an hour, and the phone stayed right where it needed to be. So I'm very happily pleased with my RAM mount. I'm gonna have to get used to talking, like the difference in my voice, because as the wind gets louder I want to raise my voice a little bit, and I'm sure the video is picking it up a lot louder, so I don't want to feel like I'm screaming. I don't want you guys to think I'm screaming when I really don't need to be. But back to the mic, I'm very happy with it. Like right now, I can hear the wind in my ears. The helmet, you know, isn't the greatest helmet, but I wanted a Bluetooth helmet so I could talk with my friends, talk with my wife when she's on the back, and not have to worry about hand and arm signals and all that stupid shit. So about the Bluetooth Techno helmet, a little bit more wind noise than I'd like to have in a helmet, but all in all, it's great. I usually ride with the visor up anyway. I've got the inside shade down, so state laws, I gotta have some sort of shield over my eyes. I don't like to wear glasses with a helmet, so I have the inside shield down, the sun shield or whatnot. But yeah, I like the helmet. Sounds good. Playing music and all that good stuff, I've had it, you know, as high as it'll go. It's pretty loud. I can barely, well, I can't even hear myself talk when it's up as loud as it'll go. So $180, it's not a bad lid. I've seen lids that are nice and quiet but don't have the Bluetooth feature for, you know, 180 bucks. So good with the bad, and I don't want to spend $600 on a helmet right now. Once we get off post here, we'll do a little bit more aggressive riding, just because I'd rather deal with ticket off post than on post for some reason. And it should be the other way around. On post, if I get a ticket, it really doesn't do anything. It doesn't go on my license, you know, I don't get fines or anything like that. But it goes to our leadership, you know, they get a notice saying this person was doing this, and then you gotta go explain what was going on, and I don't want to deal with that shit. So we'll do the off post fun stuff here and we're good to go. Before I set up all of my equipment, I did extensive research, so, well, extensive for me anyway. Spent about 7 hours actually watching other moto vloggers, seeing their setup, seeing what they used. A lot of, you know, reviews on the drift cameras and the Drift HD, GoPro, you know, 1 through 4. I ended up with the Silver 4. Just because it was on sale on Amazon, came with the Moto bundle, so I had all the stickies that I needed and all the mounting brackets and all that good stuff. So it was a pretty nice deal. I ended up getting it. I actually had one before, bought it from the store, and I really didn't like the way that I rode when I had it. So I tended to be a little bit more reckless, just because I knew I was filming myself, and I didn't like that too much. So decided to take it back to the store, get my money back, get a little bit more riding experience in, and then pick up another one. But I think, you know, with the moto vlog, with me talking to you guys and stuff, it's going to be a little bit different. I won't be so reckless on the bike, and you know, gives me something else to do. So I like it. I hope you all like it. And I'm excited to see how much of this wind noise is really getting picked up by this microphone, because it's ridiculous right now. But yeah, a little farther away from post here, and we'll pick it up a little bit. But now, I don't want you guys to think that, you know, I don't obey any laws, or I get ridiculously crazy when I'm out riding. Maybe it sounds like that from the way I'm talking, but it's not. You know, I like to pick up the speed every once in a while. I'll kick it up a notch, and then, you know, a couple blocks down the road, just turn it back down. Just like to see the way the bike responds. I like hitting the twisties. I'm actually quite surprised that a 1000 with a 8-inch extended swing arm is able to kind of maneuver like this one does. This is the first fuel-injected bike I've had. I know that has nothing to do with the maneuverability, but the other two bikes I had, the CBR 600 and the Katana 600 that I had, you know, they're just older. Suspensions weren't set up quite right, and I'm just really surprised with what I can do with a leader bike that I didn't think I could before. So I guess that kind of brings me to my next point. A lot of people, especially in the military, a lot of people have never ridden a bike before, and I'm actually the motorcycle mentor for my company. I'm the one that makes sure that everybody is, you know, has their insurance, has their motorcycle license, has been to all the classes they need to go to, so that they're okay to ride on Fort Polk. So they always come with me with all these questions, you know, like starter bikes, you know, what I should be on, all this good stuff, and they hear from a friend of a friend who's been riding forever that if they start out on a 1000, they'll probably die in the first 10 days, and, you know, just kind of ridiculous stuff. I started riding when I was about 8. I was riding dirt bikes, 8, 9, something like that, and I got a Christmas present, and it was a DR 250. It was way too big for me. Like I could barely handle that bike at that age, and it taught me, you know, a lot. I got hurt a bunch of times riding it, but I learned a lot, and I grew into it. And as I got bigger, the bike actually, you know, it was actually amazing to see exactly what you could do when you grew up on that bike. Like I was smoking people, you know, left and right. I was, you know, 10, 12 when I finally was riding that bike for real, and I was beating some dudes that have been on bikes their entire life just because I learned on that big bike. the transfer to street. So I've been riding, let's say 20 years, you know, dirt bikes and whatnot. I actually didn't get my first sport bike until I was 33, which was last year. And I was excited, you know, the first day I got the bike and insurance and, you know, all the stuff was good to go. I bought it didn't run, so I kind of fixed it up a little bit, tried to get it to start. Spent about 6 days, maybe 8 days, you know, to actually get it to run the first time. Narrowed some stuff down from there, and the first night I got it running, you know, amazingly, to where it would actually stay running and actually drive. It was about 3 in the morning, and I didn't wait. I went out right then. And I think that helped me a little bit because, you know, there were no cars out. It was 3 in the morning. It's not a lot of traffic. I could go out, you know, feel fairly confident on the bike. I was still very, I don't know what the word is, safe, I guess. I didn't really want to gun it too much. I didn't know, you know, what it was going to feel like. It's a street bike, you know. But not having other cars on the road was a big thing. Like, it helped me realize that, hey, I can ride this bike. It's no different than my dirt bike, really, except for you're on the street. So I rode at night, a couple nights in a row, you know, made sure there wasn't really anybody else around. And then I decided to go ahead and take it, you know, a day or two after that. And the difference between riding with no vehicles around and riding with vehicles around. So other cars is more scary to me than me riding my bike recklessly. I'm more comfortable riding at, you know, 120 miles an hour around a corner than I am riding in rush hour traffic with, you know, 30, 40 miles an hour. I don't like the fact that people don't pay attention to us, and I try to stand out. I wear usually semi-bright colors. On post you have to wear, you know, bright colors at night so people can see you. It's actually required, so it's not too big of a deal, but I liked it. I liked riding, you know, with no cars around, kind of got my confidence up, and we were good to go. I outgrew my 600 in probably 3 weeks. It took me, you know, riding every single day back and forth to work, and a couple times at night, going out with a couple buddies, learning what the bike could do and really starting to test its limits. It took me about 3 to 4 weeks for me to finally be like, look, I'm comfortable on this bike 100%. I can roll on the throttle as much as I want to, and I know exactly what's going to happen. So I ended up getting another deal on the Katana, 2004 Katana 600. I bought it for 300 bucks. It ran. It just didn't stay running very much. So did some spark plugs and a battery, and, you know, cleaned out the fuel injectors on it. It was, or I'm sorry, the carburetor on it, and it was perfect. Like, just night and day. So another $300 bike. I bought my CBR for $800. And then I realized in the military I had to have a back surgery, so I sold both the bikes for the pending back surgery. I didn't want them sitting in the garage, like, tempting me to go ride. I wanted to heal before I actually got back out and rode again. So I had my back surgery. I sold the CBR, 1,700 bucks, picked it up for 800. So a couple days worth of work on that, and made myself a nice little chunk of change. The Katana I ended up selling for, I think it was 1,300, 1,400. Bought that for 300, so another good chunk of change there. And saved up a little bit of money. I've been looking for a bike these last couple months. Let's see, it's July now. I think I bought my bike at the beginning of June, maybe the end of May. I've been looking for a bike for, you know, a month or two, knowing that I was ready to get back into it. Back had healed up sufficiently. I was ready to go. And the only thing I could find, I wanted to spend about, you know, $2,000 to $2,500 on a bike. $2,000, $2,500 on a bike. I know that's not a lot of money, so I knew I was not going to get a great bike for the price. So the bikes I was looking at, you know, 2001 Gixxer 750, but it had been down, you know, it looked like to me 25,000 times. Like, everything was broke on it. The fairings were messed up, the windscreen was messed up, the pegs were all, you know, bent and misshapen. Dude wanted $2,700 for it, and I just couldn't justify doing that, even though that's the bike I wanted. It's the Gixxer 750. I apologize. I think it was a 2004, 2005 750. So I looked at another one, YZF R6, and it was another, you know, 2004-ish year model. I went to go on a test ride. I you know, went down there. Dude pulled it out of his storage unit that he had it in, and went to go ride it, and you know, everything was pretty cool. And then I realized when I went to go slow down, I couldn't downshift because the shift linkage was all bent up and pushing against the crank or the housing. So I could tell the guy didn't take care of it. You know, I didn't really want to get into it, so I told him, you know, if he could go like 1800 on it, I'd be good, but he had to have 2700 for it or whatever it was. And I just told him, no, there's no way that's gonna happen. So ended up actually that night getting on Craigslist. When I got on Craigslist, I found this. Dude wanted $3 grand for it. Ridiculous. So sorry, I wanted to test the mic here and the speed with the wind. I had looks like it was 160. Nice little straightaway back roads, you know, nobody around. So felt okay to do that. But anyway, I found this. Dude wanted $3,000 for it, and I was like, a leader bike for $3 grand when, you know, 600s and 750s that are beat to shit are going for, you know, 2,500. So I asked him what was wrong with it. You know, he told me nothing. Said it didn't have fairings on it, but he had the fairings. He was just trying to paint them himself, and they were just off the bike, and he just wanted to buy a new vehicle because he couldn't ride it on post, and he wanted to get a vehicle that he could, you know, go back and forth with. So it wasn't doing him any good. It was too good to be true for me, so I, you know, went up there, rode the bike, had nothing on it. He had to tape the front lights on it just so they'd stay on. And rode around the block, and I came back and I handed the dude $3,000 cash, and he was like, "That's it?" I was like, "Yeah, that's it." Like, there was no way that I was not gonna buy this bike. It ran. It was, you know, good maintenance condition. He had just replaced the stator, the battery, a bunch of new stuff on it. It already had the extension. It already had, you know, the frame sliders on it. It didn't have any grips on it, so that was kind of weird, but it was okay just for the couple blocks I rode it. So ended up buying the bike from him, and I've been waiting ever since for something mechanically to go wrong with it, because I've been pushing it, just kind of see where it's at, and I really haven't had any issues with it at all. So very excited about the bike. I'm very happy with the bike. I like the fact that I have the power. I like the extended swing arm because I can get on it and I don't raise the front at all. So there's no accidental wheelies, learning how to ride a 1000, dealing with the power band. So I know kind of what the bike does. I don't have to really worry about that too much. I've actually tried getting no front wheel up, and it's happened a couple times at some stoplights, but I cannot do a rolling wheelie at this point in time. So I don't really want to push it too much until I get my stunt cage on. I'm going to learn how to do that a little bit, so I want a cage so I don't mess up my bike. You know, I don't make millions of dollars, so I can't afford to be fixing my bike every 2 or 3 weeks every time I fuck it up. So that's about it. I mean, out here just kind of enjoying it. I've been riding for about 1.5 years now on sport bikes, and just loving it. Everywhere I go, you know, everybody asks me everything about it. I've got a couple good friends that ride also, so we do a lot of group rides and whatnot. And the Army's good with group rides too. We had 142 bikes the other day. We went on a 4-hour road trip and got paid to do it. It was during a work day. They said, hey, 7 o'clock, show up, get your bike, get your clothes on, all that good stuff, and meet us here. We're going down to Shreveport and back. So we ended up a 4-hour ride to Shreveport and back during the middle of the day, getting paid to go ride a motorcycle. So nothing better that I can do in my career right now than the military. But unfortunately, that's coming to an end. I had a back surgery. They told me that I'm not eligible to stay in the military because of my medical concerns. So I'm actually going to medically retire from the military, which to me is a good thing. I'm going to get more money being medically retired than I ever got being in the military. And that's before I get any other jobs or anything. So I can sit at home, moto vlog all day long if I want to, and not have to worry about bills too much. So I'm kind of excited. Next step in the future. The wife's a little nervous about it, but you know, she'll get over it. Once we get into the swing of things in our civilian life, I think she'll be quite happy with it. So, plus it allows her to kind of focus on her a little bit. She's been following me around for 9 years, a different state every 3 years, actually a different country. Went to Germany for 3 years. That was amazing. I wish I would have rode out there because Europe's a great place to ride, but didn't really have a chance to, so we'll kick it up another notch here. Another great thing about Louisiana back roads is these nice long straights. Like you can get up and there's nothing going on. There's no cars. There's no people kind of hanging out at their houses. They give you dirty looks sometimes, but I'm sure it's something they see all the time. So not really too worried about it. But it gives you a chance to kind of see what the bike can do and how it all works out. That was a 6-gear pull. I mean, I was at 70 miles an hour, 6 gear the whole way. So not a lot of acceleration, but you know, just the top speed pull there is really what I was trying to get at. So it wasn't quick, it wasn't fast, it just got up to where it needed to be. But I'll do a couple videos later on to show the actual capabilities of the bike, performance of the bike, but I don't like really doing that on the street too much. Those long extended straights, kind of like this one in front of us, you know, I wouldn't mind opening it up here so much as long as there's no other vehicles and I don't see too much going on, but it's just an every once in a while type thing. And like I said, I have the GoPro on. That's kind of why I'm being a little bit more reckless than normal, I guess. So we'll calm it down a little bit. Just a nice casual little ride. Yeah, so I hope to be able to do this a lot more often. I learned about it. I've watched a lot of moto vlogs before. I got some likes and dislikes from a lot of other people, so I'm going to try and incorporate those in my videos. This was a spur of the moment thing. I just realized that I just got my microphone, so I put everything all together real quick and I wanted to come out and try it and see kind of what was going on. So I tried to do that, like see what was going on with everything that was put together. And I really didn't have a topic, so I'm just rambling on about myself and the bike and, you know, my lifestyle, so we'll see what happens there. Yeah, hit me up. Hope you enjoy the ride, and let me know if there's anything you guys want to hear about or talk about while I'm on these nice little relaxing rides. I'm going to do a couple comparisons. I got a couple buddies, so I'm going to swap bikes with them for a ride or two. Do some bike comparisons, what I like, what I don't like. Do some group riding tactics, you know, how to be, like, a lot of riders, they get on a bike and they don't realize, you know, it's a culture. It's not really just, hey, I've got a motorcycle and all that good stuff. There's a culture out there. A lot of guys on Harleys won't give you the, you know, the what's up or whatever as you're driving by, and I don't really care too much if they don't do it. I still do it to them. I still give them the, you know, 2 fingers down, let them know I'm okay with it. A lot of them will respond, especially around here because we're all soldiers. So our common theme is we're in the military and we ride bikes. It really doesn't matter what bike you ride, but there's some dudes out there that those die-hard Harley fans, and they've been in it forever, and they will not recognize a sport bike or any of that stuff for that matter. So it is what it is. I say what's up to everybody regardless of what they ride. A lot of times when I'm really concentrating, when I'm really trying to push the bike a little bit, I'll miss a dude, and in my rear view I'll see a bike go by and I'll be like, fuck, I didn't even tell that dude what's up, and I'll see he had his hand up or something like that, and I feel like an asshole. So try not to be that guy. Try and be nice to everybody else that rides. I got a couple dudes that I know that are on 300s. It's not about the bike you ride, it's just about the culture. You ride, that's it. You're on 2 wheels, you're out here. I like to give them shit because You know, they can't keep up. They're on a 300, which they're new to bikes, and they thought that was the best idea for them, was to get a small bike and go from there. But so I'll give them crap all the time about it, but all in all, if they needed some help or something like that, I'd go over, you know, help them work on the bike, or have them come over when I'm working on mine so they can learn some stuff. And that's the only way that this culture is going to keep going, sharing your knowledge. And that's exactly what the YouTube channels are all about. Moto vloggers, God, all sharing their knowledge about everything. So this is what works best, this is what I didn't like, this is what camera views I love, this is what camera views I didn't love. This is a microphone I use. I mean, I learned all that stuff in the last 7 days over about an hour a night or so. So I appreciate all those people that do have their moto vlogs already. I've subscribed to a couple of them. I can't remember their names right offhand, but I will definitely get some shout outs started, because I'd like to be shouted out in some of their vlogs too. So I don't know if anybody else moto vlogs in Louisiana. I'd like to do a meetup. Hopefully you're on the, you know, west central side, or whatever you want to call it. But Fort Polk area, Alexandria, Lake Charles, I'm down for all those rides. Not really too into going to Baton Rouge or New Orleans at this point in time, because those rides are ridiculous. But once my back heals up a lot more, then I'll be good for going on those 4, 5, 6, 10-hour rides. So San Antonio was a bad deal. I rode 8 hours. I think I stopped every 45 minutes for about 20 minutes. It just took me forever to get San Antonio, so I really don't want to do that again. But we'll pull off up here. I'm going to do that cigarette thing. None of y'all should be doing. Smoking's a bad habit. I'm trying to kick it myself, but then we'll hit the ride back and hopefully get some more stuff for you guys. And I'll try and think about what else I can talk about here. So we'll see you on the other side.